Hi guys, just looking at one of my young elite players at 13 years old, mid 70 shooter, mid to high 70 shooter, trying to get him to play in the low 70s. Obviously that comes with a little bit of extra distance and whatnot, but at this point in time he really struggles with these ball flights, with his short shots. I'm going to talk a little bit about the length of his backswings. On the left hand side I asked him to hit a shot that carries 20 metres, and on the right hand side a shot that carries 30 metres. Given that he's 13 years old and he does a reasonably good job mechanically, we start to talk about a few areas in his backswing. As we start to see him go back, he gets a little bit vertical in the backswing for both sides. It matches up on the way down, so I'm not really worried that much. But we start to look at the length of his backswing, and certainly you'll see in the timings as well. When you start looking at that length there and this length here, he could probably make it a little bit longer on the right hand side if he's going to fly it a little bit further, because then his tendency then, as he starts to come back down to impact, as his body stalls and stops and he starts to flick it with his hands coming through impact, does a reasonable job there. It looks pretty good, but then it over rotates on the way through and loses that impact alignment. So you'll also notice on the outswing here, on the left hand screen, he keeps on rotating his body, and the shaft comes out a little flatter. The shaft comes out a little bit more vertically on the right hand screen through here, giving us the indication that he tends to sort of stop rotating as far as that's concerned and flicks it with his hands, so he tends to get inconsistent ball flights with those types of things. We start looking at the distances that he's hitting it, slightly offline, but it's not too bad in regards to some ball flights and whatnot. And as it keeps on going, we start to see the ball flight on the way through. From my perspective, all we tried to get him to do is lengthen the backswing just a little bit more, so he then doesn't tend to stall his body on the way through and flip his hands over, and we start to get to some consistent ball flights as far as that's concerned. So utilising obviously the visuals for the young guys these days are, generally speaking, they like to see this kind of thing, and it gives them a better understanding of what he should be doing through impact, post impact, with the rotation of his body, and obviously at the top of the length of his backswing. So I hope that gives you some indication. I'll just drop this down to make this screen just a little bit bigger. Then we go into putting it at full speed. Pretty solid motion. I mean, the kid's got some game, obviously. We keep on getting him to rotate through impact a little bit better muscle activation as far as that's concerned, through impact and post impact, keep his body rotating, and we start to see some pretty cool stuff from him. Obviously pretty gifted athlete as far as that's concerned. Shoot this off to him and away we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll speak to you soon.